The voicemail wasn't long, just a few seconds of breath, a faint, scraping sound, and then a voice that didn't quite sound like it belonged to anyone living in that house anymore. Please, if anyone hears this, then silence. No name, no explanation, just the kind of silence that feels like something has already gone terribly wrong, and whatever caused it is still out there. Nancy Guthrie had always been the kind of woman who noticed things, small things, the way a chair was slightly out of place, or how someone's tone shifted just enough to feel wrong. So when her daughter stopped answering calls, Nancy didn't brush it off as busyness or distance. She felt it immediately, that quiet, creeping sense that something wasn't right. Her daughter had married Daniel just over a year ago. He was polite, the kind of man who made eye contact just long enough to seem sincere, but Nancy had never fully relaxed around him. There was something in the way he smiled, too measured, too controlled, and now, with her daughter suddenly unreachable, that unease began to take shape into something far more real. Daniel was the one who finally called Nancy back. His voice was calm, almost too calm, as he explained that his wife had gone away for a few days. She needed space, he said. Things have been stressful. He spoke like someone reading from a script he had memorized. But Nancy knew her daughter. She didn't just disappear without telling her, not without a message, not without a word. And when Nancy asked where exactly she had gone, Daniel hesitated just for a second, but it was enough. That pause echoed louder than anything he actually said. Days passed, and the silence only grew heavier. Nancy filed a missing person report, her hands trembling as she handed over a recent photo. The police began their routine questions, timelines, interviews, but nothing seemed urgent enough. Not yet. Daniel cooperated fully. He answered every question, opened his home, even offered his phone records. To the investigators, he appeared helpful, composed, almost eager to assist. But Nancy watched him carefully, noticing how he never once seemed afraid, not worried, not even confused. Just steady. The house didn't offer much. No signs of struggle, no broken items. Everything looked normal to normal, as if someone had taken great care to ensure nothing looked out of place. But then there was the bedroom. Nancy stood at the doorway, her chest tightening. The bed was made, but not the way her daughter used to make it. The sheets were tucked too tightly, the pillows placed too perfectly. It didn't feel like her daughter had left. It felt like someone had erased her. Investigators began looking deeper into Daniel's routine, his movements, his habits. One detail stood out: his car. He had cleaned it recently, thoroughly, vacuumed, wiped down. Even the trunk had been scrubbed at first. It didn't seem unusual. People clean their cars all the time, but something about the timing felt off. Why now? Why so suddenly, right after his wife vanished? It was enough to raise suspicion, but not enough to act on. Not yet. Nancy couldn't let it go. She kept thinking about that car, about the way Daniel had casually mentioned cleaning it, as if it were just another chore. The more she thought about it, the more it bothered her. So she told the investigators everything she felt, every instinct, every unease. And while instincts aren't evidence, sometimes they're enough to take a second look. This time, the police decided to examine the car more closely. Not just a glance, a full forensic sweep. When they opened the trunk, nothing immediately stood out. It was clean, spotless. But forensic teams don't rely on what they can see. They rely on what's been left behind, even after someone tries to erase it. Using specialized chemicals, they began testing surfaces, and slowly, faint patterns started to appear. Not obvious, not clear, but enough to suggest that something had once been there, something that didn't belong. Then came the discovery that changed everything. Hidden deep within the fabric lining of the trunk, investigators found traces of blood, not visible to the naked eye, but undeniable under testing. It wasn't just a small amount. It was enough to suggest something far more serious than an accidental cut or spill. Daniel had said his wife left willingly, that she packed a bag and walked out. But people don't bleed in trunks when they leave on their own. And suddenly, the entire story began to unravel. Confronted with the evidence, Daniel didn't panic. He didn't break down. Instead, he adjusted his story. He claimed there had been an argument, that things got out of hand, that it was an accident. But the evidence told a different story. The amount of blood, the attempt to clean it, the careful staging of the house. This wasn't a moment of loss of control. It was something planned, something deliberate. And the more investigators dug, the more they realized this had been building for a long time. In the end, the truth was colder than anyone expected. Daniel had murdered his wife inside their home, then moved her body to the trunk of his car. He spent hours cleaning, erasing, trying to remove every trace of what he had done, but he missed something, just enough for the truth to survive. Nancy never got the goodbye she deserved. No final words, no explanation that could ever make sense of it, just silence, and a voicemail that would haunt her forever. In the quiet aftermath, the house stood exactly as it had before, neat, organized, untouched, but beneath that stillness was a story of betrayal so deep it could never truly be hidden. And sometimes, the most chilling part isn't what was found, it's what almost wasn't.